What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.
What's up? I'm not John Hansen, but this is Dynasty Points. Don't adjust any of your TVs, your computers, your phones. It is 2 hours earlier, but we are no Jacob today, dragging us into the anti-East Coast dad's time zone. We're locked in for Dynasty. There's no better place to be on a Tuesday night. Not that I would know, because I'm always here on a Tuesday night, but I assume there's nowhere better because you guys are always here with us. Lots of fun stuff going on at the Fantasy Points YouTube channel on the way to 20,000. Look, I promise the brass, I promise all the bosses, John, Scott, 20,000 by kickoff on week 1. So smash that like and subscribe button so I don't get fired. My family needs to eat our Timbits and our Tims. We need you to come through here. As I mentioned, special edition today, the guru himself is stepping into the Dynasty Zone, this weird Thunderdome-esque paradox that is this show and this chat. We're happy to have him making some time for us. Guru, I know you are not living and breathing these Dynasty streets, but I know all the subscribers are excited to hear some of the Gurrific plays that you found in this offseason.
Yeah, great to be here, guys. I'll try and keep up with you guys with your degeneracy, if that's even a word, when it comes to the Dynasty stuff. But yeah, I've been doing what I always do. This is 31 consecutive years where I really haven't seen my family. Don't go outside much, and just staring at football, basically, watching all the games, keeping an eye on social media for all the updates and everything. And it's a little bit of a weird year, I think. I think it's like all or nothing. I think there's either complete consensus or everyone's kind of all over the map. So I think it's going to be a very interesting year. I think we're going to see more offense this year. And I think that there's a myriad situations that really aren't cleared up. So therefore, I think once we get going in real action, I think the waiver wire is going to be wild. That's my prediction. The most wild active waiver wire of all time the first 2 months of the season.
I love it. I love that. There were a lot of weird cuts, a lot of players that didn't get moved that news was saying they would get moved. And look, I understand everybody wants that kind of news. There's 6,321 other podcasts, live streams, articles all over the internet that can give you the kind of boring 53-man roster stuff that you're looking for. Not here. Nah. Here, you get hard-hitting Dynasty content. Joining us, as always, Lucas Gilbert. That's at LGilbertFF. Ryan Heath, the Crash Out King. Ryan J_Heath. Locked in and ready to go. Let's talk about what we have coming up today. Of course, we've got comment review. We got some good ones from last week. One, I have to ask the chat if it is a good or a bad thing because I don't know. We've got the most Gurrific Dynasty value that you can find on the board. We asked John for his top 3. We've got 3 good vibe and bad vibes for the Dynasty season. And of course, the greatest game in fantasy football. All of this being said, gentlemen, I say we dive right in to one of our favorite portions of the program. This is the comment review for Dynasty Points. You guys have been off the handles over the last couple of weeks, and we love it. We have some fun ones from you guys this week. From YouTube, we have at Open for Business 23. Tipple sounds just like Rome from Succession. I can't unhear it. I don't know the show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I have no idea if this is a good or a bad thing. So everyone in the comments, you can let me know if this is indeed a good or a bad thing.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Who the actor is played by. Is that what you call it.
Is that the other Culkin brother?
Yeah,
I'm
it
not-
is.
It's
Kieran
Kieran
Culkin.
Culkin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
nothing about the show either, but I am on Google and it does say Kieran Culkin.
Okay, so I sound cracked out. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That, you know what? It's better than like I have CTE. So we've progressed past CTE and into a lunatic. I'm okay
Didn't
with
he just
that.
win an Academy Award or
I think so.
A big award, not an Academy, maybe a Golden Globe or something big.
Okay, we've got bad thing, but you don't sound like him. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. We have at Think OU. Tom, this is last minute, but you're also babysitting for me tonight. This is, of course, after me finding out at the end of our show that I had another live stream to do. Look, there's a reason I don't have children. You don't want me watching your kids. I have a hard enough time keeping plants alive. That being said, it just depends how badly you really need a babysitter. It's 50-50. That one's up to you. And of course,
shout out Tom for babysitting myself, Jacob, and Scott on the FFPC main event live stream last week. That he came in clutch on that.
that was my favorite thing. You're like, oh, we have this stream up there. I was like, you know what? I wasn't doing anything anyway. It's totally fine. We have at J Renterprise 6489. Someone get Lucas on TRT pronto. My man, you look young as hell, and yet he can't ride 18 holes of golf. Not great, Bob. To be fair, it was Ryan that got tired through 18 holes of golf, not Lucas. But still hilarious. That being said, that's the comment review. We love it. If you want the opportunity for your comment to be highlighted or read, if you got a comment for the guru or any one of us, let us know. Leave the comment when this live is done. If you're listening on Spotify, go on there, leave a comment, and maybe you can have your comment highlighted and a potential chance to win a subscription. We're going to talk about that one towards the end of the show. We had somebody just ask, it was Papacino, Tom, what's the over-under on the beard coming back? It's 100% going to come back, okay? I just wanted to see if I could see my jawline yet, okay? Like, I haven't seen it in like 15 years, so it was a shot. It's not there yet. Don't worry, the beard's going to be back. That being said, quick break. On the other side of it, we come back. We are getting 3 of John's Gurrific dynasty values. On the other side of this, don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it.
This is Nick B, and I'm reading this ad because I was my fantasy league's biggest loser. So if you want to win your fantasy league and make more money, head to fantasypoints.com to get the edge you need.
Whoa.
Guru, you are known to be an ageist.
I am.
And for a lot of times, that can be the way to go. With that being said, you're also known for thinking a little bit outside of the box, having some picks and some calls that others might be overlooking. So we have you here today to benefit the listeners with your 3 most Gurrific dynasty values heading into 2025.
First of all, can I give a shout out to Nick Bakai, the man who did that voice over there? You may know him. You may recognize the voice if you're a certain age. If you grew up in the 90s, or maybe if you had kids who grew up in the 90s, you watched a little cat named Salem that was pretty famous.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
the voice
baby.
of Salem right there. The great Nick Bakai. So I got to go. I have to narrow this down to 3. Well, I mean, obviously, JJ McCarthy is going to be one of them. Duh.
Right. Obviously.
I mean, what else is there to say? Obviously, he has to go out there and do it. There might be a small margin a fine line, let's say, between, playing really well or playing not so great, but overall, adding it all up, I think the one question is, can he throw the ball with touch and timing? I've seen signs of that, like not throwing, 80-mile-an-hour fastballs to a guy 6 yards away, things like that. I definitely see some improvement there. You can even see the mechanics tighten up. I think Kevin O'Connell is like a whisperer of quarterbacks. I mean, look how well Sam Darnold played. You could even see, like, we're talking to Brett Whitefield about his film studies early in the season and some mistakes Darnold's making. And panicking and things like that. I could almost see him improving. So with that great coaching, I think JJ is going to do well in that regard. I don't think there are many arm limitations. Maybe the accuracy is not pinpoint. I think he moves well. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, but watching him in that first preseason game, the way he carries himself, some moves and slings it, I see a little Mahomes there. So wheels up. I've never been this confident about my favorite team growing up than I am this year. It's probably the kiss of death, but I don't care anymore. It's called the way I see it.
It can't get much worse in terms of the kiss of death for the Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. I know everyone's making fun of that cheerleader, the new Vikings cheer. I'm like, you know what? Good. Because that's the kind of thing that wins a Super Bowl. You look back, you're like, it's really that cheerleader that did it.
That's right. Something to change things up in the building, but you're not wrong in terms of value. Even when you look at Superflex drafts, I went back because I have not drafted a dynasty startup in quite a while. We're looking at August 16th to August 26th. He's the QB 16. Ryan, you and I were talking as I was finalizing my latest quarterback rankings on how much I just hated quarterback after like number 8, maybe number 10 if you want to get, but it's like 10 guys that are all kind of the same for me. And a guy like JJ is one of those guys that has that chance to leap into that top 12. Where are you at with him? What does he need to do to hit top 12?
Yeah, I mean, I've made my JJ stance pretty clear all offseason, but I'll repeat it for people, which is basically, I think this is going to be the exact same Vikings offense that we have seen the entire time Kevin O'Connell has been here. They have always been top 5 in pass rate over expectation. They always throw the ball in the red zone. We got into it with Rebar a little bit on the last episode, kind of talking about how that offense could look differently, going back and forth debating. But yeah, I mean, I am with the guru. I still have really good vibes on JJ. I guess maybe like the more interesting question that I'll pose to everybody here is, let's say it's the first couple weeks, the first 3-4 weeks, the Vikings offense gets off to a bit of a slower start. Maybe McCarthy doesn't look immediately amazing. How long of a leash are you willing to give? And I think this is an important question just because we would generally give a relatively long leash for a rookie, which this is basically JJ McCarthy's rookie season, right? So how long are you going to have to see him not perform amazingly until you start to say, oh God, maybe this isn't working out, not just with him, but also with the Vikings pass catchers? How big of a buffer are you giving mentally? I think for me, it's going to be week 5, week 6. If we don't start seeing what we want the offense to look like, I'll get concerned. But that's kind of that's as long as I'm probably going to toe the line and hold on to the prior of this take.
I'll say next season.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you mean just this season or do you mean long term?
I mean this season. So in terms of we're on a dynasty show, so we can talk dynasty value, but also in terms of, is he going to put up fantasy points this year, which as we've talked about each week does matter for dynasty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good question, Guru.
Oh, I would say I'm probably with you. I was, as Ryan was saying, asking the question, I was thinking, I'm like, not a lot of time. Granted, he's a rookie, so you got to give him a month, 4, 5, 6 games. But if he's not performing at a pretty high level after week 6 or 7, I will be concerned. He did take mental reps all year. I mean, he's been on the team now for a while. So yeah, he is basically a rookie, but I'd say he's a pretty damn educated rookie. But also everything Ryan said obviously is true and all that. It's also a good offense. And dare I say, I'm not saying it's freaking quarterback proof or whatever, but again, where was Sam Darnold's career this time last year? In the toilet. And get him under center, a lot of play action, a lot of defined reads. It's pretty easy. Especially when you got Justin Jefferson out there and Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson's going to do really well. So adding it all up, this is the best offensive line they've had in 10 years. I mean, it's truly remarkable. I mean, this is why I'm so out in front of it. I do not care if I'm wrong. And I guarantee this, if I am wrong, it'll be close. Like if I am wrong with my prediction, they'll like lose in the Super Bowl or lose heartbreakingly in the NFC title game. They're going to be good. That's a lock, and barring catastrophes injury wise.
So looking at their schedule right now, they have a week 6 bye, and before the bye week, they're playing the Browns. So that has me pretty interested. Like, best case scenario with Jordan Addison, he has a 3-game suspension to kick off the season.
That's in London too. They have London and Dublin and back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. So we have the Browns in week 5. I would love to see him play well against the Browns, and that would make me feel really, really good. But then the bye week, as they're coming back, immediately following is the Eagles, and I kind of just want to mentally flush that game. So if he's not performing by the Chargers, that's week 8. That's then whenever, at least for this season, I'm going to say, okay, nope, it's not happening this year. Even longer term, you really want to see something by week 11 before we're going into this offseason saying, are we looking to try to flip JJ McCarthy for what's supposed to be a really deep, talented quarterback class coming in this year? There will be a lot of those type of conversations if he doesn't shape up.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. It's a great thing to throw out there, but let me just brush back. That ain't happening. I'll just say it right here. That is not happening.
And I don't think it'll happen in Minnesota. I'm talking about as dynasty managers, should we be looking at that?
Yeah, understood. Understood. But if he's good for the Vikings, it's going to be good for dynasty.
Well, that's
true.
That's kind of why I'm laying out next year, right? I'm willing to go now for my starting lineups. I'm right there, kind of in there with Lucas with the bye week 8. If by then he's not worthy of my starting lineups, now I'm concerned. Like if you're a dynasty manager that's relying on JJ McCarthy, I'll have a little bit of lineup decision making to do. Yeah. But in terms of dynasty overall, not concerned. And I personally don't think he has to do that much to hit top 12. I don't think he has to do that much to leap Jordan Love, to leap.
Oh, totally.
The
he
Baker
could
Mayfields.
he could run for 275, 300 with 3-4 tutties easily every year.
Exactly. And that's what we talk about with the late career Russell Wilson, right? There's still 325 rushing yards is still enough for me. So I love it.
There's good karma. There's so many good karma points with this. And honestly, some of it is personal. I will say, but I have used very non-traditional things to be correct. And the one other one is Brett Whitefield's comp for JJ the rookie year was none other than Rich Gannon,
right?
Who happens to be a friend of mine. So I'm like, this is fascinating because obviously Rich was the Vikings quarterback. He's also from Philly, like me. We have a lot in common. But anyway, so I had to send Rich a text. I'm like, here's the analysis. Here's the overview. Your thoughts. Do you agree? And all he did was 2 words, I think. Absolutely, brother. And Rich Gannon is the toughest evaluator of quarterbacks I've ever been around. And I've been around a lot. I did TV with Ron Jaworski for multiple years. I've been around some pretty good ones. Rich is like the toughest critic. If Rich Gannon is signing off, you're going to be good.
And if that comp is Rich Gannon, let's not forget the 2002 MVP where he threw for almost 4,700 yards. I mean, you get one season like that out of JJ, you're going to be pretty happy. Guru, let's get the second most Gurrific value that you found so far in the 2025 offseason.
Well, I'm just trying to be a little creative here, right? Because we're recording this on a Tuesday night in late August, and people are getting ready to do some drafts. So you're looking for a dude who, if it's a startup dynasty draft next year, he's going to go considerably earlier, right?
Sure. Let's do that. Absolutely.
How about Quinshon Judkins? Now, I don't want to get into the off-field stuff. I know the Chargers were dropped and all that, but I mean, there's a guy, I don't know. See, again, I don't have my finger on the pulse of the dynasty markets, but he has had to have dropped a little bit.
He has.
And I'm just bringing it up because, again, I'm not a film analyst like, Brett or any other people I used to work with. I mean, I see what I see and I filter it as I filter it and let the chips fall. And it's usually pretty good. And I really like Quinshon Judkins. I mean, I liked him more than Hampton, quite frankly. I see a potential stud, quite frankly, like a 3-down back, bruiser, but also some juice and some untapped receiving potential. I mean, I know
Right.
the Browns aren't great, but I mean, I thought Quinshon Judkins had sneaky stud potential.
Keep in mind, Scott's all in on this Cleveland offense. And look, the people that thought what that quarterback room was going to be, it looks like it's all Flacco until they're fully out of it. So the offense, I think, is that going to be better than perceived. But I'm with you on this because the Browns, when they announced their 53-man today, carrying 2 running backs. So I don't know if that's a signal that
exactly
Judkins is on the way or whatever, but it's going to take him time to ramp up. And you know what that's going to do is going to drive Sampson up and drive Judkins down because, Ryan, we've had this conversation. It's never baked in. Dynasty manager is going to overreact about a player not getting on the field, not signing their contract early. It's never baked in. Dynasty managers are the most fickle, overreacting bunch of degens that I have ever had conversations with. That includes mega nerds. So, Ryan, with the chance that he starts falling, how far do you think the risk is for someone like Judkins? I mean, he's going right now 1 spot above Harvey. Again, this is just in the last from August 16th to today, so roughly not a full 10 days. But RJ Harvey's RB 19, Judkins 18, Ken Walker RB 17. Is there a chance that someone like Caleb Johnson passes him, who's RB 20, Chuba RB 21? Like, how far does it really go?
Okay, I'll say this, and first, I do want to say that Jacob, who is not on the show tonight, I thought had an amazing write-up just of all things Browns backfield in his preseason Hitchhiker's Guide over on his Substack, Thinking About Thinking. So everyone go check that out since he's not here to plug his stuff. I figured I would. But yeah, this Browns backfield is really weird to start off the year, frankly. So Judkins still has not spent like real time with the team, which causes 2 issues, right? Issue number 1, probably not going to be thrust into a workhorse role immediately after he first joins team activities, right? It's going to take him at least a couple weeks after he signs his contract, whenever it is, for him to be up to speed and for them to say, okay, we're actually going to deploy you as a bell cow in a game, right? So you need to understand whether you're betting on Judkins in redraft or in dynasty. Like, that's something you need to bake in and take into account. Probably the bigger and more important thing, though, that this means is we have some early season runway for Jerome Ford, which is whatever. We know that Jerome Ford can do almost nothing to get himself into the Browns' long-term plans to make himself matter for his dynasty value or for Judkins. But with Dylan Sampson, it's a little bit different. If Dylan Sampson comes out immediately, like wrests away the starting job from Jerome Ford, which honestly is kind of the direction it started to look in the final preseason games usage, then we get into some interesting territory, right? Let's say Dylan Sampson, for the first month, plays pretty well. Like, I don't think it's ever going to be really amazingly well on this offense, where I just doubt there's going to be much actual rushing volume. But if he's playing as a pass catcher, if he's mixing in, like, suddenly the Browns are in an interesting spot where it's going to be kind of hard for them to say, okay, this rookie that we just drafted that we like clearly, who we took in round 4 after we had already taken a guy on day 2, it's going to be hard for them to say, yeah, you're going to the bench now just because we drafted Judkins in round 2 and we thought he was a better workhorse evaluation a couple months ago, right? I don't think that's how it goes down if Sampson is any good. So yeah, you're playing kind of a dangerous game here. At that price, I am out on Judkins. I would happily buy him for anything that's in the neighborhood of like 2 seconds. Anything that's in the neighborhood of a first, I am currently not paying for Judkins. I think the clear click in managed redraft is Sampson, just because that gives you more flexibility, like with the waiver wire early in the season, to see what you have rather than Judkins sitting on your bench and collecting dust as we potentially continue to not get updates in the early part of the season. So yeah, that's kind of my whole view on it. And I would even send a 26 second for Dylan Sampson at this point. So I think really I've flip this around to where I think my better vibes are just on Sampson based on how I kind of envision the early season playing out. And yeah, you'll find out immediately. We can definitely look up in week 3 and say, okay, Sampson is not the answer here, and it's Judkins all the way. Like I think Judkins could gain dynasty value or gain a lot of dynasty estimation in my mind before he even touches the ball, before he ever steps on the field, right?
Sure.
Right.
It really does come down so much to how Sampson plays and what the inertia of this backfield is.
I just keep thinking, like, coming out of the draft, if it went and the Cleveland Browns never selected Judkins in the second round and still picked up Sampson in the 4th, he would have been at the very beginning of the second round whenever we were doing our rookie drafts. People would be getting really, really excited about it. And I don't think that's baked into his price yet. So I think that you do still have some time to capitalize on that value and then look and see what's going to happen whenever, we start looking at a world where Quinshon Judkins does join the Browns and does start competing on the field. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I think that we're going to see a pretty seismic shift wherever that starts, but still take advantage of the value early. And if you're getting somebody who's really productive, first 6 weeks of the season, and you're having to pay a 26 second, that's cheaper than what you're going to have to pay for Tony Pollard over the same span whenever people are going to be wanting that same type of value out of them. And Sampson's value, I think, is going to stay fairly steady whenever Quinshon comes back if he performs. Pollard's value, once Spears is healthy coming off that high ankle sprain, I think it's only going to start going down after that point. I don't think there's a world in which it starts to go up again. And I think that there's a scenario in which the best case version of Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson is whenever they're both in the backfield. Sampson looked so much more explosive in college whenever he wasn't having to be the lead back, whenever he got to be, a feature style back. He was absolutely explosive. He was really good out of the backfield. And at least the vibe for Quinshon Judkins is that he can do a little bit of everything. He can run in between the tackles while still being explosive off the edge. Some of his numbers get me a little bit scared whenever you're looking at the analytics behind like what he's doing in terms of broken tackles. But at least that's what he also shows on film too, is that he can be that type of back. I think there's a really good scenario. Both of these guys are going to be very valuable, not just this season, but moving forward. So if you can still get a discounted Dylan Sampson, you absolutely should be smashing that.
You guys are a little too young, but you may know the names. Back in the day, the Browns had 2 Pro Bowl caliber running backs in a dual backfield, Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack. So maybe shades of that. But Thomas, do you what do you make of Judkins's stock really not fallen? I guess I don't know. Has it fallen considerably?
It's fallen enough to make me interested. I've seen some comments about Judkins tackle breaking. Graham Barfield disagrees. Graham Barfield and his yards created. Judkins popped way better than even he had anticipated, to a point where he had actually moved him ahead of Henderson in that process. So the tackle breaking, I think, is a little overblown, and I don't think you need to be as explosive in this specific offense. But what I make of this is just that dynasty managers either have a tendency of holding on to what they have without a doubt. This is the type of people that are, without question, he's going to sign like Dak did right before the game. He's going to walk onto the field. He's going to get out of his car on the drive to the stadium and put his helmet on and walk onto the field and get 28 carries. That, to me, the people that are driving up the ADP, that's how I feel. They were in on Judkins anyway. I think when you're looking at the masses of Dynasty Fantasy Football, the nerves are there. And like both Ryan and Lucas have stated, if you can get a discount on either, I'd be doing that. I looked at it. Some people that I really trust and like that are into the college football space were telling me that it's going to be more of a 1A, 1B. I disagree with that completely. If Sampson absolutely takes hold, because Jerome Ford is terrible, as like we know this by now, like the week 1 Bengals matchup, sure, smash Jerome Ford. After that, sell him for whatever you can get. And if Sampson proves capable, I think it's closer to a 1A, 1B when it's all said and done. That's a little scary for me. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm leaning closer and closer there. But I'm in agreement with both Ryan, Lucas, and yourself that if the value is there on both of them, but I think you're right. I think the better price is on Samson right now than Judkins. But I will say I'm still taking Judkins if you are doing your rookie drafts. I'm still taking him back end. Like I'm taking Ibuka over him, Warren, and Loveland in tight end premium superflex rookie drafts, but that 110 spot to me is kind of reserved for Judkins now, where it used to be
go for the
1-6.
cheap. It's easy to go for the cheap option, right? It's like, oh, which one? I'm going to go with the cheaper one. That's safe. It's a little boring. I mean, buying Judkins now is like a pretty ballsy move, but I could see it. Things change very quickly. You know, we spend the entire off season, thinking about all this stuff, and you're like, oh, well, how could he come back? He hasn't been around for 2 months, and then a month later, he's the guy. You know what I mean? Like it could change in a month. So we'll see. But I think Judkins, end of the day, is a lot more talented, in my opinion, than Samson, and the better buy low. I mean, they're both buy lows, I guess, before one of them pulls in front of the other. But I'm team Judkins.
Right. This is more of a film take, but whenever I've been reading the Broncos beat writers to make me feel a lot better about RJ Harvey, it takes time to develop a chemistry with an offensive line, like between a running back and an offensive line, and the way that you're supposed to run based off of how that scheme's blocked and what you understand, like the offensive line in front of you is going to do. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that if we see Judkins start off a little slow, that's going to be a really interesting buying window, because people will have had to wait so long to see him. And if he gets thrust in pretty quickly and is trying to take at least, 15 carries a week right off the bat, we might see, a couple, 2.5, 3.1 yards per carry type weeks. I'm going to be going out and buying as many shares of him as possible then, and waiting for whenever he has time to, develop chemistry with that offense, get his feet under him, get back into playing shape. Because I know he's staying in shape, even though he's not with the team, but getting into like actual playing shape, I think that's going to be a really interesting time.
I agree. And remember, there's no such thing as buying low. There's only opening buying windows. So if the opportunity arises across your dynasty leagues, take a chance. Guru, one more. Gurrific dynasty value.
I don't want to be like obvious here and chalky, I guess. I mean, we could talk a little Elijah Arroyo. I think is going to be interesting this year and very sexy, beyond 2025. Jalen Lane, the slot receiver for DC, is coming on like gangbusters. Not good for McCaffrey. I'm very interested in Jack Besh, especially if Myers is taken off the team. I think he could be obviously not as flashy as Thornton, but he probably could get more targets and catches. But I got to go with a pretty obvious guy, I guess, but he hasn't really done much yet other than 2 games. I got to go with my guy, Ricky Pearsall. I mean, you want to talk about planetary alignment. Like it's all kind of setting up for Ricky here based on everything that's transpired with the Juwan Jennings situation, obviously Debo, but I am absolutely feeling it, very, a technician type of a guy, good route runner, inside outside versatility. I kind of see, maybe I'm nuts, but I actually think he might do better run after the catch than Debo, or even Ayuk. Because that was built up as the Rack brothers. And I'm like, it made some big plays, but, a lot of them with Debo were like on like jet sweeps and things like that. Not run after the catch. I've seen just some glimpses of like Ricky being down with Brock Purdy and the timing of the offense. Shanahan schemes guys wide open. How's Kittle always so damn open? I think that's going to be a play here with Ricky. And I mean, it's a lot to ask, but he's kind of an older second-year player, mature guy. He's been around a little bit. I mean, just good, unbelievable vibes. I think he could be really good. Like, I don't know if he'll be a wide receiver 1 if he hits his ceiling, but, I think he could be considered like the 15th best receiver in football.
And he's going wide receiver 35 over the last 10 days, according to the Dynasty Data Lab, which is real drafts, not mock drafts, which is why I reference it all the time. If somebody's new here and is wondering why I keep talking about Dynasty Data Lab, it takes drafts that are actually happening with actual money on the line and forming it into an ADP. He's going wide receiver 35. He's barely regarded as a wide receiver 3. And John, you're an ageist. You look at some of the wide receivers going around him. It's Mike Evans, it's Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Adams. I mean, Jaden Higgins. I'd much rather Ricky Pearsall than Jaden Higgins right now, especially when you look at, you got guys like Jennings going with the back and forth with the team. Ayuk still hurt. I think week to week upside in that offense is unreal. So I'm right there with you.
By the way, I had heard through the grapevine that Jennings, I think, is a little butthurt with his agent about the deal and all that. So that might, I could be wrong, but that might be something that kind of goes away kind of quickly.
Okay. Because when I saw IR, I was like, is this a real IR sting? Or is this you better play or we're IRing
that's
you? That's
weird. It's really weird. But
right.
Hey, Sky Moore to the rescue, baby. Let's go.
Sky Moore and Pearsall, the only 2 healthy receivers in that room right now.
Well, look,
that's
hey,
crazy.
You know what? Sky Moore is literally my worst call of all time. But it's also Andy Reid and Brett Veach's one of their worst calls because they're the ones who took him in the second damn round. I know it wasn't a great wide receiver group that year, I guess. But they're the ones who took him, and that started the whole damn thing. And I believe they ruined him. And maybe he's to the point of no return. But I would not be surprised at all if he had some moments here in this offense.
There's nothing I would like to see more than a Sky Moore touchdown or 2, not just in a Super Bowl. Ryan, I know you are Team Jennings, so I'm interested to hear your opinion on this matter. But wide receiver 35 is pretty nice.
Okay, so here's how I'm seeing the Jennings situation on August 26th, because I feel like I have to give bi-weekly updates on Juwan Jennings this offseason. It like the most annoying possible run out for me, just in terms of having a take where I'm like, this guy's underlying data was really good. And I think this is what the market's doing. I had such a grounded database take on Juwan Jennings, and now it has just completely devolved into he has a fake calf injury and he wants more money, and we have to rethink this every 2 days. So I'll just give my Jennings half capitulation, I guess. So I still will, no matter what happens with Juwan Jennings, I will maintain that being very high on him at ADP in redraft and dynasty and what have you 1 month ago was objectively the correct opinion before we got these hints of this holdout stuff, right? Or whenever that was, or in late July or whatever. Right?
Hey, I'm 1 spot over his ADP right now, right?
I still think he is a totally solid value in Dynasty where he is right now. I think he is a totally fine click in redraft. He's going down in the 8th or 9th round in some of these home leagues I've seen. I think that is totally fine, and you should still click him there because I still think it's a good profile to bet on. But I will say my stance has been up until now that I wasn't really worried about Jennings at all because I didn't see kind of the breakdown in the relationship between him and between 49ers brass and Kyle Shanahan. What we kind of saw with Brandon Ayuk last year was he did this very similar kind of extended contract holdout thing. Seemed like there was a lot of bad blood on both sides by the time it got resolved. And then Ayuk over the first 6 or 7 weeks or whatever it was, goes out and averages by far the best separation score of any receiver in football and has a solid 18% target per route run rate because Kyle Shanahan was like, you know what? I'm pissed off at you and we're not going to throw you the ball now, was essentially what happened. And this is a Shanahan special. Only he, I feel like, is really capable of just doing this and saying on a whim, I'm just not going to throw the ball to my star receiver. Yep. I didn't think Jennings was really in that territory or that was the danger until these most recent reports in the last 24, 48 hours where it's they're threatening to IR him if he doesn't report. It sounds like feelings have been considerably hurt compared to a week or two ago with the initial reports we were getting. So yeah, I'm a little bit scared. I have kind of been on Pearsall being like a decent pick the last few weeks. I think he continues to be a decent pick, but yeah, I'll show my belly. I'll roll over on Juwan Jennings a little bit now because I am genuinely concerned with this latest report.
Shanahan is a hard ass. There's no doubt about it. But maybe that angle about, maybe you can blame this on the agent. And, like, hey, it wasn't me. It was the agent. Don't get us mad. But I will say this. Again, probably means nothing. But Shanahan, very much a hard ass. Former wide receiver. Kind of like me. Like, I always wanted to be a receiver. Like a frustrated receiver. And I kind of think he sees himself in Ricky Pearsall. I've had many conversations with Kyle Shanahan, and Ricky Pearsall was one of the best interviews I've ever done. And I can tell you right now, Kyle Shanahan is going to love himself some Ricky Pearsall if he doesn't already. So that relationship, that's going to be blossoming this year.
Yeah. I mean, until 2 years from now when Pearsall wants a contract, then I'm sure. History tends to repeat itself.
Yeah.
So I think the great thing with Ricky Pearsall and then, buying him as a value right now is you don't have to have any sort of expected jump in target sort of price increase with him. I think that's awesome if you're trying to buy him. And even with Juwan Jennings, I don't think that you have to buy with people thinking about how many targets are up for grabs in San Francisco right now. They're just kind of putting them in almost at a worst case scenario, and that's what you're buying at, or at least you're not having to pay for upside whenever you're getting them. And Ricky Pearsall still owns probably one of my favorite one-handed catches I've ever seen in the college game. It was just absolutely absurd. So I kind of went to root for him. Whenever we had Scott on, I was roasting Pearsall a little bit because Scott was talking about, does he have, the same type of value or forgiveness as a rookie wide receiver would going into his first season after last year. And I don't think he has that. So there's a lot more on him to perform. And if he doesn't, he's just done. He's a sunk asset at that point in time, I feel like. But if you're a Pearsall believer, this is a great time to try to get a couple more shares of him. And, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we want players in good offenses at reasonable prices. And that's probably about the only thing I have left to say about Pearsall. It's a reasonable price. Like, we're talking wide receiver 4 or 5 on your team, depending on how you draft here in Superflex Dynasty drafts. It's a pretty easy click, in my opinion. And I am sure his trade value reflects that. I'm going to click on this really quick just to have a look here.
And just so people know, Ryan, comes with and Lucas come with a very measured approach. I'm the hype guy. Like, I'm the guy that I find the breakout. Like, I made a career on this. Like,
that's
Isaac
right.
Bruce in 1995. People are like, who the hell is Isaac Bruce? Well, he had 1,700 yards that year. That's the fourth most in the history of the league. So I do gravitate toward these maybe volatile, but, I'm a swing for the fences guy because when you connect, what's better than the feeling of connecting on a fastball and you get all of it? It's the best.
That's right. And let's not forget your call when you're sending out emails late at night when Trent Green goes down to get Kurt Warner on the back end of your benches in round 18. Ryan, you may not know this. Kurt Warner was an NFL quarterback.
I did know that. Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
I appreciate you reminding me.
My favorite
just
story.
Clarity. I wasn't sure.
I have so many stories. I could do a podcast on these stories, but one year I was working late writing about fake football, and Terrell Davis went down and the news broke out. I just happened to see Olandis Gary in the preseason, and I knew about the blocking scheme and all that. I sent out an email to all this, get Olandis Gary, hey, it was great. Then fast forward the next year, he blows out his ACL. And it was a Monday night football game. I was up at like 2 a.m. working, and I saw I saw Mike Shanahan. I remembered watching a clip of him talking about this guy, this undrafted former Marine who he was thinking about, making the team, which he did. So when Olandis Gary went down, I sent out an email and I said, whatever you do, pick up Mike Anderson tomorrow morning. Dude ran for 1,600 yards and it was just incredible. One more. This is going to make me seem very old, but I think I invented the breaking news update in the fantasy industry. I don't think anyone ever did it in the history of the internet until Kajana Carter blew out his knee.
My God.
And I sent an email, get Corey Dillon. I'm begging you to get any, and then the rest is history, but I have more of them, but I love that stuff.
You're out here worrying about 5 for 5 and not being able to pick out players, and you're dropping Kajana Carter here on the podcast. I mean, you're talking about the Marine. That was right in the Marine was right in the stretch of that, like Ruben Drones Denver Broncos.
2000. It was 2000, I believe.
Yeah. What an absolutely insane run out. Well, that's the Gurrific Dynasty Values. Quick break, and when we come back, we've got good vibes, bad vibes. Sit tight, not going to want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
45 seconds? Nah, that. This ad is over after I say fantasypoints.com.
And just like that, we're back from the break. Good vibes, bad vibes. Just want to take a look at the chat here. Now, look, normally we have a Q&A for time purposes. Could not get the Q&A in today. However, Guru, tomorrow, if people have a Q&A, trade questions, we're talking fantasy team roster building, draft questions. Do not send in your start and sit. We've got other shows for that, but luckily we don't got to worry about that this week. But Hump Day with Hansen kicks off tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern time. Bring your questions bright and early. Guru helps you get through the middle of the week.
Yeah. And no roster baiting tomorrow. No roster baiting.
Yeah.
Don't drop your team that you just drafted that you really want to brag about. No roster baiting on Hump Day with Hansen. Only me and Thomas get to do that.
Yeah. What do we do? My fifth wide receiver's like, I don't know, Puka Nakua somehow. It's just like, guys, relax. We get it. You're awesome.
Isaac Tesla as my 9th receiver.
Yeah.
In a 10-team league.
Yeah, exactly. We get it. That's right, Kyle. Hump Day is back, returning this year. Guru and I starting tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern time. With that being said, let's look. We've talked about vibes. The vibes have been great on this program, Guru. I think it's time we bring it down a little, right? That's what we do in the business, peaks and valleys. Right. Let's get 3 players you have got bad dynasty vibes for right now, because everyone in the industry, and I talk about this a lot. Okay, I've stolen this from Jacob. I'm the paragon of objectivity. I look at things as objectively as possible. A lot of people can tell you every rookie is to the moon and every vet and every offense is going to make it. Cooper Kupp's bouncing back. Follow the money, bro. I'm not that guy. And I know that you also get the feeling of just bad vibes. So let's talk about 3 bad vibes you're getting for the 2025 Dynasty. Now, it could be for early in the season. It could be in the season's entirety. Looking forward to the future into 26 and 27. Guru, I need 3 bad vibes for Dynasty in 2025.
Well, yeah. So you're talking, when I hear Dynasty, I think big picture, multiple years. Picture.
That's right.
Or are we just talking about this year? Because I'll throw out an idea. I do a thing on Sirius called the Skank Squad. It's people love it. They like saying the word skank. I mean, who doesn't? I could give you a Skank Squad, a starting lineup for the seat, but it's more for this season though. So
that's fine.
But yeah, need it. All right. So not to take up too much time. Quarterback, nothing really stood out. I think the most egregiously priced quarterback, believe it or not, is Jared Goff. I don't even know. I mean, it's not really worth a conversation, I guess, but I'm a little surprised that he's going that high. My RB1 is McCaffrey, and I'm sorry. I know he's been healthy and the vibes are pretty good. I just worry about the small margin for error. If they have another injury or two on the O-line, or God forbid, Purdy or Trent Williams goes down, I know it's going to look good in September and October, probably. I don't know about November, December. Breece Hall is my RB2, and I bailed on Breece Hall because I was with him the whole year. And maybe I'll be doubly pissed because he actually comes through, but I just don't see it. I know their own line's looking good. I know that he's in a contract year. I know that the schedule is good, and I know that Braylon Allen's not that good, but he's going to play. And maybe Isaiah Davis. I don't have a lot of confidence in Justin Fields getting him the ball in the passing game to make up for it. My wide receiver 1's Tyreek Hill. I mean, Jesus, I don't even know what to say. My wide receiver 2 is Travis Hunter. I think it's going to be a learning curve. Let's just say it that way. I think he's overvalued for this year. My wide receiver 3 is Chris Olave, just because I think they're just awful, brutal.
Rattler QB1. Yeah.
I think Colston Loveland's being egregiously overpriced for this year. I get it. I mean, he's a freak athlete, but I don't know what people are thinking about this year. They're going to support all those guys. And then just as an added bonus, because I loved him last year in the flex, I'm not feeling Khalil Shakir. Like, I'm done. Right. I'm out.
I think there's a couple good dynasty tidbits in there from some of the players that you mentioned. I agree with look, I like Tyreek Hill. I've talked about it before. I've gone back and forth with Ryan on this. Excuse me, with Theo Greminger on fantasy football.
I've got to sell. That's what I say. Is it too late?
I don't. So I think if you have Tyreek Hill, you're stuck with them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why for me, I am more willing to accept him being on my roster this year because he's not slow. Like, he didn't completely slow down.
Still running well.
You on the offense being maybe a bit stagnant. That's what you've been saying for the last couple of years. McDaniel's been figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely with you on that one. But Ryan heard Travis Hunter and the chat.
You see my ears perk up? Yeah.
the chat already wants to know. Do you think there's this much of a learning curve, Ryan? Are there at least some bad vibes with Travis Hunter?
I think the vibes have been pretty good with Travis Hunter. Like, I feel like, just thinking about where everybody in the industry was on him a month and a half ago, I think generally people feel better now, just from what we saw in preseason with the slot usage, just from every quote that we have continued to get from the team, every suggestion that it really seems like offense is kind of the first priority in terms of snaps he's going to be playing, and anything he can play on defense is gravy. I mean, they could totally rug pull us and completely just do like the opposite of what they've kind of subtly hinted at through this entire preseason. I'm not saying that Travis Hunter is like a lock or anything like that. But to me, yeah, I would still stick with my take from July, which is this team, this coach is incentivized to play Travis Hunter a ton on offense, to have him on the field as much as possible, especially because the Jaguars are going to rely on 11 personnel if the system is anything like what we've seen with Cone historically. Mm-hmm. So they don't want any of those additional wide receivers down their depth chart having to play. They kept 5 wide receivers. It was Diami Brown, I forget the fourth and the fifth guy, but Parker Washington and Austin Trammell, I believe, right? I think so. Yeah. So, but that to me says, like, yeah, they're planning for Travis Hunter to be on the field a lot. So yeah, I am still towing the line with not even towing the line with Travis Hunter, like driving the line with Travis Hunter, I guess is how you'd say it.
You know what I would do? Guys, I think, and again, I could be wrong, of course, but I've seen this learning curve thing over and over. Hell, I saw it with Deion Sanders that one year when they tried to, but I would buy low if he struggles mid-season, or then buy, because I did take the over his touchdown prop because some of the greatest ball skills I've ever seen. The man literally consumed the football on that game-winning touchdown in week number 1. But I will say real quick, I don't know how much you guys have heard about Diami Brown, but I did Adam Schefter's podcast. I can't remember if he told me on the air or off the air. Excuse me, because we talk a lot. All we do is we talk, believe it or not, we talk fantasy football all the time. And he said they love Diami Brown, and Diami Brown's going to be a big factor. Just, I don't know if that's out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I believe that they love Diami Brown. We have heard that even going back to around when they signed him. Like they sounded extremely high on Diami Brown. But yeah, I mean, I really see him as like he's probably going to play on the outside. I think Hunter, especially in 11 personnel, just in the slot, is going to soak up so many targets, even if he only ends up being on the field for like a 65 to 70% route share. Like he can have a high target per route run role just in that Chris Godwin-esque kind of slot role, grabbing some screens there too, which is what Cone does best. So yeah, I still feel very confident in Travis Hunter. I guess like from a dynasty value standpoint, I also kind of think that he's going to get more of a cushion or like a benefit of the doubt from the market than like your average rookie wide receiver. Just because, obviously, or at least it should. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll see the opposite. But what he's doing is no doubt extremely hard and harder than what your average rookie wide receiver has to accomplish. So that'll be maybe we revisit this in 6 weeks and see where we're at, because that is. I hadn't really thought about that before. Like, what will the market do if it doesn't like immediately work on Travis Hunter? I think I would be tempted to say it's going to, and like hold the line, guys. But this is, I get, you can tell it's August where it's late August where I'm already teeing myself up and thinking about how am I going to respond if all of my takes go very poorly 4 to 6 weeks from now.
Well, one thing that does help, it can't hurt. It is a new offense for everyone. That probably helps just a little bit, but it's also a pretty complicated offense.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I'm right there. I've cooled a little bit on the Hunter stuff, but not too bad. I love the list, Guru. That is a nice skank squad. I feel like almost every one of them have some legitimacy in the dynasty streets as well. Now we did the Valley. Let's bring the tempo back up with 3 good vibes in dynasty for both 2025. It can be for beyond. Let's get 3 good vibes, not named JJ McCarthy, because I mean, I know we'd love to use another slot for JJ McCarthy because look, if you've checked our thumbnails, he's on there a lot.
Yeah.
But let's get 3 good vibes.
How about Bryce Young? Because, there's a lot to look at here, and a lot changed over the course of a year. I'll never forget the first game he played in, and I'm like, and I was a big Frank Reich hater, and I'm ripping on Frank Reich left and right because him and I is about the same age. I think he's a year older than me, so he's a big dope. I mean, I respect my elders, but when they're saying, he's a big dummy. Like Nate Hackett, that guy's a moron, okay? Because I'm older than him. But anyway, Frank Reich, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Your O-line is completely ill-prepared for this kid. You're trying to run your system. It's like a disaster. Like, he was under siege from literally his first snap, I'm pretty sure. But again, fast forward a year, you get Dave Canales, the quarterback whisperer, the guy who, simplifies things, who maximizes your ability, basically puts you in a good position to succeed. And then the results were evident once you got benched and all that. I watched him this preseason. I'm like, looks like the same guy. The offensive line has been solidified now with Ted McMillan, who looks damn good, high volume guy to go to. I think people forget that, I know he's a small guy, but his game is accuracy and processing and athleticism. Those are good qualities. And, if he's in a pretty good environment, I mean, this guy was the number 1 pick of the draft. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce Young is drafted next year as like the 13th quarterback off the board, that's pretty good.
I like the Bryce Young thing. We were very harsh with Bryce Young on Market Report. We needed to see it. He was a 0 for us. But when a player gets memed, and I talk about this a lot on this program, when a player is a meme on Twitter and in the dynasty streets, you buy. So you buy Bryce Young when he is a 0. You buy him when he is worth nothing. True. Because you don't know what's going to happen. And like you mentioned, showing improvement. Now they draft the receiver. et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm there. I like the good vibes. Obviously, if we love Tet Ryan, this is something that I also think kind of gets lost. If we love the receivers, we should at least in somewhat like the offense or the quarterback throwing him the ball, I imagine.
Yeah, no, I mean, I am pretty bullish on this offense just in general. I do think that Tet kind of makes a big difference just in terms of giving Young like a dependable target on the outside. It just really helps to keep the chains moving. That helps Chuba Hubbard, who is probably one of the I guess like a lower key beneficiary of any sort of Tet love, Bryce Young love. But maybe like the even better vibe that I have right now is on Jalen Coker. Cokeheads, I think we're winning. Like this, things are looking up. Hunter Renfrow doesn't make the team.
He's a Titan, by the way.
Yeah, we got the Adam Thielen trade rumors. It sounds like it's going to happen. They just have to figure out the draft compensation essentially. But yeah, we get Jalen Coker, who is still extremely cheap in Dynasty, still like a final round type of pick in seasonal leagues, by the way. Like, this is actionable. Like, go do something about that. But yeah, we get this guy that outperformed Marvin Harrison Jr. on a per route basis in every single stat that matters last year in a starting slot role. And he's competing with Tet, obviously, but then with Xavier Legette, the round one receiver that he completely dunked all over last year, like, yeah, Coker is very live to just be the wide receiver 2 on this offense. It could be like a average to above average offense. That's like a useful player in fantasy. Now, this isn't like a huge, massive win or what have you, but can Jalen Coker be going in round 7, round 8 of Dynasty startups next offseason after a decent season? Yeah, I totally think he can. He can kind of fill like the Jacoby Myers mantle, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think Coker is probably like the biggest winner that's Panthers related, at least over the last couple of weeks.
Now, can you just give up with Tommy Tremble? Then I'll be really happy. Just stop it with Tommy Tremble.
Give us Jatavian Sanders, please. I need it. Like I have an unruly amount of Jatavian.
I've been trying
Sanders
to sell you more
life.
Jatavian Sanders too, and it's not working out. I will take next to nothing.
You cost me 2 seconds in the league of record by trading Tom Lee Kittle at a bargain bin price. So you're not getting nothing from me in leagues for a few weeks. That was 2 seconds I could have had in my pocket. That would have given me, I think, 18 or so picks over the next 2 drafts. But instead you sell George Kittles for peanuts when I have your 27-1.
Nobody would pay for Kittle either. It's a weird tight end league because I think it's also tight end premium, but
it's 0.75 tight end premium.
Holy,
you gave him away for free.
How?
You gave him away for free.
It was rough.
No, I'm mad at you. I'm not accepting any trades of yours. You cost me. That's co-host on co-host friendly fire, and I can't have that. All right, Guru, let's get another good vibes Dynasty player.
There's just so many, that you could throw out there. I mean, I'm a Gunnar Helm guy. You want to dig deep? All right. Do you guys talk a little Gunnar Helm?
I've got 10% rostership, so I'm at least on the board.
All right. Well, that's right. I forgot who I was talking to. You guys have probably done 3 podcasts just on Gunnar Helm.
Not that far. Not that far.
But I'll go with I guess a bigger name in terms of rookie, but one who's not creating a lot of buzz. And I was not particularly interested right after the draft, but watching him, I talked to some people who were at practice, and I watched him in that, I guess, the first game. How about Kyle Williams?
Yes.
Because, I did a show with Charlie Weiss one year on Sirius, and obviously he's Mr. Patriots. I think it was even the year that Jerry Jeudy was drafted. I'm like, the Patriots got to get Jerry Jeudy. I mean, enough of this. Can we get an explosive athlete on the field at receiver here for once? I mean, I don't know if we've had that since, like, in terms of guys who are actually good, like Deion Branch, for God's sakes. So it's going to be slow going, but I mean, you look at Drake May, you get your left tackle. You get your running back. They're building here, so I can see in a year or two, I could see Kyle Williams being kind of like Deontay Johnson was for like Big Ben. You know what I mean? Like,
I like it.
Getting it done because a guy can. I'm a separatist. I mean, this guy can get open.
That's right. Just to point out, on August 20th, offensive coordinator Nick Holt said Gunnar Helm has done a really good job of handling everything mentally. He had some great blocks in preseason game. He's really answered the bell, if not just being on the receiving end, and he's been all encompassing. I'm not a Okonkwo guy. I've never been an Okonkwo guy.
I got sucked in once, and I regret it to this day. Like these tweeners, forget it.
No, if you're built like a fullback, I don't want you to play tight end. Like, that's not for me. Gunnar Helm at least has a very clear pathway to legitimate playing time. And if Cam Ward is deserving of the 101, I kind of just want I want every piece of the Titans offense. We talked a lot about Ridley and Pollard and someone like Helm, almost free. Also right there with you with Kyle Williams. He was one of my favorite third rounders. We talked about him a lot here on Dynasty Points. I think he has the potential to be what everybody wanted Polk and Baker to be, but I was not in on them last year. But if Drake May is going to have this Exodia, if you would, type season that I have doubted, if I am going to be wrong, I want to be right. And already in on Kyle Williams. So I am right there with you. Ryan, Kyle Williams, good vibes in Dynasty. Are you buying?
I don't allow myself to have Patriots wide receiver opinions in the preseason. That's kind of, it's just
Ryan, real quick, you know what my opinion has been on every receiver for the Patriots other than Deion Branch and the slot receivers? That they suck. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. I've said they suck. Forget it. Other than Deion Branch. So good. I mean, I said Polk and Baker. I was like, yeah, whatever. Don't care.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have generally been correct about Patriots receivers, which I've generally also been negative on them in recent years. But yeah, with Williams, I am really just kind of in wait and see mode. I agree with Tom's analysis, which is if we think this offense can step forward this year, yes, I want pieces of it. I mean, Jacob and I had talked each other into like all the late round Jalen Polk and Javon Baker stuff on like basically the same premise, just being that like ignore any of them as players, but just if Drake May is the truth, then that is like your rocket ship ticket up dynasty draft boards, that it is even possible. So yes, I'm in on Williams from like a dynasty game theory perspective, but yeah, I don't know. This team has like just done such things to my mind that I don't feel like I can have a reasonable take on him as a player.
The cream has to rise to the top, and Vrabel wants to be explosive. He's pretty progressive. He's into analytics. I'm telling you, they're going to want an explosive athlete like this on the field. One other guy I'll throw in there, Ayomanor, who's been on my list all year. I like him. I know he's a little boring, but I think he projects well against opposite Calvin Ridley. Let's say that. So,
and he looked good.
Yeah, I think he might start, right? I mean, he's like on the precipice of starting already, I think, right?
Again, there's 6,327 other podcasts that'll tell you who got cut and who didn't. I'm not sure if the ghost of Tyler Lockett is still on the Titans roster. He got cut.
He got cut.
Yeah,
Lockett's still there.
So Lockett made it. So he's got to pass Lockett. And like I said, the ghost of Tyler. The Titans and the Ravens are where veteran wide receivers' careers go to die. So unless he's terrible, you have to assume he's going to jump him at some point on the depth chart.
I mean, they'll probably need his size.
Yeah, I agree. And again, you want pieces in this offense if Cam Ward is who we think he is.
You guys like Ridley this year? Because I love Ridley. I love Ridley all year. Yeah.
Me and my co-host on the Market Report, Andy Buckler, have just been hammering. It's It's like draft day. Calvin Ridley, no matter what. Like we are. I traded Isaiah Likely and Khalil Shakir forms straight. Like I'm just want as much Calvin Ridley.
All right. Yeah. Well, I talked to someone who's been there, and I said he could still fly, man. Still, just make people look silly out there. So
Back
he's
to
kind
back
of a young. He was like a young 30.
Well, he was a young 24 entering the league, so young 30 is not surprising at all.
A few things just to add here. First, with Helm, I thought coming out of the draft, just in terms of understanding defensive schemes and concepts and knowing how to sit in a zone, Gunnar Helm was the best tight end prospect that could do that kind of work. I think he's extremely cerebral, and I'm a little concerned about what his upside's going to be. I think he's going to be around the NFL for a really long time, but we're going to see something like hovering between 45 and 60 catches a year with maybe 550 to 750 yards. Like, not bad, but in terms of chasing upside at the tight end position, Kyle Williams, though, coming out of draft, had the best deep ball tracking skills of any wide receiver in the class, and he was getting open consistently. Everybody was concerned with him coming out of Washington State about whether or not he could do that against elite competition, and throughout the preseason, I think that he's really shown himself well. I'm curious what his overall role is going to be in this offense, because it makes me a little nervous during your rookie season if your only role is run fast, run straight, and be looking for the deep ball coming. I think it's going to be really fun at times. And
he'll be buried. He'll be a little buried. He will. He'll Mac Hollins will play over him, but he'll start ascending around Halloween, and we'll see where he can go. I'm not saying he's going to be great this year.
I'm so sick of that dude. I can't stand Mac Hollins. I'm sorry. Put some shoes on. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just be normal. I don't know. I can't do it.
I mean, tracking a deep ball, that's a legit skill, and he is elite at that. And then with Ayomanor, I find it funny. We talked about so many prospects who have just elite ball skills, and everything with Ayomanor's elite except for maybe his ball skills. So I hope that he can get that fixed. I'm curious, like, what type of leash he's going to have if he, has 2 or 3 drops early on in the season, if they might limit him a little bit more. But he has so much potential that I think it's going to be really, really fun in that offense.
I'm surprised he slipped to the 4th round. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'll say this: Brett loves him, and if Brett Whitefield loves a player, there's a better chance that I am also going to be in and want to be in on that player before they potentially blow up. Guru, was that all 3?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean,
okay.
I throw out some other names here. I mean, I'm trying to not be chalky, but not dig so deep that we get to people that literally no one's ever heard of.
Well, are you telling me that you are not all the way in on wide receiver 111 Nick Nash? Is that what you're telling me, Guru?
I gotta keep it 100% here. I don't know if I've ever heard of Nick Nash.
Me either. That's the
San
first
Jose
time
State, man. That guy.
Of course you would know. Of course you would, Devi boy.
Guess what's his birthday?
I don't know his birthday, but he almost stuck. Was it the wide receiver trophy? Holy cow!
He's 26.
Bolitnikoff?
Yep. Yeah, he almost snuck the Bolitnikoff because he just absolutely roasted that level of competition. Not saying he's going to be great, but man, he put up some
Not
stat
saying
lines.
he's going to be great. Brother, I've you're never beating the allegations of a Devi boy. You're never doing it. That being said, let's get into what gave Lucas these allegations. Coming up next, Guru steps in for the first time to the greatest and possibly most challenging game in the fantasy football space. 5 for 5. Guru puts his knowledge to the test. We'll be right back after this.
45 seconds? Nah, that. This ad is over after I say fantasypoints.com.
All right, Guru, on the screen here, you'll see that we have this little keep track of. We've got the GOAT, the greatest of all time in 5 for 5 history. I'm the back-to-back 5 for 5 champion. Won this thing weeks ago. I've just been coasting, ever since. We have Lucas Gilbert, our Devy boy, who is hosting tonight. He has 2.5 wins. Ryan Heath, our crash out king, aka Hunter's hero, sitting with 2. And the Gremlins just getting a little bit bigger. Somebody fed them after midnight. 4 wins. The way this works, we have 5 questions for 5 players. They have a theme. We're going to find out what the theme is from host Lucas Gilbert. Here's the thing, Guru. We have to close all chats. We are not allowed to have chat open.
All right.
Allowed. We are locking in for 5 for 5. The way it works, if you're new here, just tuning in, Lucas is going to ask us a question. We got 5 hints for 5 players. Everyone can answer. If you guess wrong, you have to wait till everyone else has gone. Chat also gets 3 chances, so you have to be smart with it. We trust that you are not Googling. And remember, chat, you are here because we let you be here. Keep that in mind. Let's dive in. Lucas, you are hosting. I was going to host, but I just did not. I did not have the time. Unfortunately, work just was too much. I couldn't do it justice. So you're taking over. TD says, "Is it a Taylor Swift theme?" It was gonna be, but Guru was here. We were like, we don't know how many Taylor Swift songs Guru can name, so we kind of did away with the Taylor Swift theme for this one. That can be next week, maybe when Jacob gets back.
I have a Taylor Swift story if you want to hear real quick.
Would love to.
Yeah,
my
I
wife,
really want to hear the Taylor Swift story.
My wife, Taylor Swift is from Philadelphia area, as you probably know, as am I. My wife was a singer, good singer. She did plays. She did beauty pageants, even though I know that's frowned upon now. But back then, it was an opportunity for someone who could sing to sing. So years and years ago, she's watching this local Philadelphia show, like a Good Morning Philadelphia thing, and young girl comes on to sing, and my wife, not a talent scout, she's like, "That girl's terrible." She's like, and I was like, "It just so happened to be Taylor Swift." I'm like, "Yes, that was not a good call." Just saying.
Would you say it's up there with Sky Moore? Like, is that your wife's?
Yeah.
Sky Moore.
Well, no.
Put that one on fantasy receipts.
Yeah, it's up there. No, I don't think so, because again, I blame the Chiefs. I mean, I'll take the blame for being wrong, but the Chiefs are the one who took him in the second round. All my wife was saying is, this girl's not a very good singer.
Hey, so, I took Sky Moore ahead of Chris Olave, so it's just good to laugh at ourselves sometime. All right, Lucas, you got it. Let's go.
So I've taken notes from whenever the chat has yelled at me and carried it into next week, and whenever you all call me Devy boy and have all these complaints about my questions because you all can't remember Jermichael Finley and then cry about it for 2 weeks. So
Texas.
Also, I just want to say first, hey, chat, I know you guys think it's funny that I like to complain about Lucas's questions and stuff. No, it's actually not funny when you do it. It's only funny when I do it, because I'm the one that's up on the show that has to actually suffer through it and be embarrassed like every single week. Nobody cares if you guys don't know the answers to Lucas's questions. You are just an army of faceless people behind pseudonyms that can type out whatever shit talk you want, whatever random ass names that you probably Googled you want. I don't want to hear it. And I am not on your side. That you are anti-Lucas
crash out
tonight.
king.
Do we have a
sit down and enjoy this round of 5 for 5, courtesy of Lucas Gilbert.
So are we saying we have a question 1 Ryan Heath crash out? Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. Fair, as person who is leading this point for Ryan has 1 point going into this. Question number 1. So the theme this week is going to be, I have at least one sounds like clue in here because people seem to like that. So
no, Jacob likes that. No one else. Anyway, carry on. Okay.
What? This player has a name that is similar to a certain East High alum.
Oh.
East High?
Roast this man. Roast the boo this man.
Is this like a movie reference I don't get, or is there an actual East High School?
Was East High on like the OC or something that I missed? Or...
It is a movie reference.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to get the movie reference, so we can move this one along, I guess.
All
Oh,
right.
was there like an overall theme? Oh, you said the theme is that there sounds like clues.
Yep.
Okay,
so
okay.
the chat
Not with the
is
players.
so lost. All right, y'all are going to be kicking yourselves. Clue number 2. This player started his career at Nevada.
I do not know anyone that played at Nevada.
You said started.
Started. Oh. Hold on. I think the chat might have it.
Now, are you talking UNLV?
No, just Nevada.
Just Nevada. Okay. Just checking.
Okay, I admit I accidentally had the chat open and I saw what I think is the answer, so I'll just disqualify myself for this because I forgot to close the chat.
I bet you it's a running back.
No, it is not.
No.
The chat, unless Thomas can get it.
I don't think I can get it. I know this is High School Musical, but I don't know the characters.
It is High School Musical. Mr. Troy Bolton, named similar. Tory Horton, because the next clue was going to be, if that isn't enough, his last name is similar to that of a famous Canadian chain.
Oh, I would have
I'd have gotten that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brutal.
which is why I saved it for
I don't
3.
know if I don't know if I'm gonna let the Troy Bolton Tory Horton connection. I don't know if that's
I thought
legit.
that was
Lucas.
pretty good.
I think that's a stretch.
Okay.
I had
All right.
0.0% chance of
Got it.
getting any of those hints or anything.
Okay,
Nothing.
fair enough. I will take this new note.
I knew the school. I don't know the characters.
Mm-hmm. And then the next clue was going to be, you may want to bet on it that he will be the wide receiver 3 for the Seahawks in 2025.
Okay, so they do get
Hey.
easier.
Yeah, so like I tried to make it by clue 3. You should have a pretty good guess. But the chat got that with 4, Ryan with 1 from his pre-question crash out. So moving on to player
sorry,
number
before you
2.
do that, Lucas, I do just want to tell the chat that I am too young for High School Musical. I actually do not really remember High School Musical as a kid.
That's fair.
And I'm too old, so
I
we're excluded.
I recently watched the first 2 with my wife, so this was on the brain.
Okay.
All right. Player number 2. This player has a similar name to a Hall of Fame eligible teammate.
Lucas.
This is how Jacob's first questions all are. I'm sorry they are. It's just coming from me, so you don't want to accept it.
I don't want to accept it when he does it, but you are right. Hall of Fame eligible teammate.
Not even in Hall of Fame.
I will say I originally had this as Hall of Fame to be, but thought that would be too much of a debate. So I'm going to say Hall of Fame eligible
So
teammate.
active. These are active.
No, this player. I'll also say this player's not active.
Okay, no.
Right. Hall of Fame eligible, has a name that sounds similar to a Hall of Fame eligible teammate.
I mean, that could almost be anything.
Exactly. Okay. We'll move. I think we're gonna move.
I'm going to move along. Question number 2. This player went back-to-back Super Bowls with 2 different teams, but only won 1.
Ooh. Back to back. Oh.
Oh no, he won both.
I mean,
Right? Yeah, he did win both. Damn.
how far back do you go on these again?
So it can be at any time frame, just because Jacob likes to throw in a random one at points in times that are like, from the 80s, and it's just always wild. But this player is from since 2000, I will say, because I'm not that creative. All right, I'm going to give a 10 countdown mentally.
Okay,
You all do what you need to do.
I'll do a guess. I think it's wrong,
Okay.
though. Is LeGarrette Blount?
It is not LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won both Super Bowls. Pats 1 year, Eagles the next year. Beat the Pats that year, if I have the years right.
Damn it.
All right, last chance to guess. If not, moving on.
Yeah.
All right,
move
the
on.
chat gets this one with Mario Manningham.
Oh.
And chat, I'm going to say that you got it on the second clue. You did not get it on the first clue. It was pretty close, but I had already started saying the second clue before I saw your guess.
Oh,
So
man.
Mario Manningham shares a similar name to Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
And his the fourth clue was going to be shares his first name with a famous Nintendo character. So,
All right. Okay.
all
Is
right.
it the San Francisco Super Bowl?
So he won one with the Giants and then was injured for the second one with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have made a difference. Ravens stomped. Anyway.
Yep. And they won. So that one goes to the chat.
He was
Chat
a very
now has 8.
polarizing prospect, by the way.
Exactly. That was going to be clue number 3. Well known for his 6 on the Wonderlic score. Score of 6 on the Wonderlic test and reported failed drug tests in college. So
Did he go to Georgia? Anyway.
no, he went to Michigan.
All right.
Yeah, not that Michigan's any better these days.
gonna
Goodness
say.
gracious.
Was going to say.
Oh, I could do a whole thing on Michigan. Moving on, player number 3. So this player has a last name that's the same as an early 2000s children's cartoon character. This is also a cartoon I have referenced in the past, which gives Ryan and Thomas a big hint. It may involve a character that is a train.
Oh, Jesus.
The last name shares with the character you said?
Yes.
Ian Thomas.
No, but I do like that. That's a pretty good one.
I've no idea. Go ahead.
John, you got
So
yes.
wait, say that one more time.
So the last name is the same, or his last name is the same as the first name of an early 2000s children's cartoon character for a train. It's a train cartoon.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And what was that was the first clue?
That's the first.
Haven't moved on to the second one. Chat, you did not get it. I would stop guessing.
And then what was the first part of what was the first part of the clue again? Like
His last name.
okay, that's it.
Is-
Okay.
yeah.
There's nothing else. Okay. I mean, I know what that is, but I don't,
Yep.
So I guess I'm ready for the next question.
I'll guess Logan Thomas.
No, but I like that.
Oh,
All right.
way better guess than me. Yeah.
I think you all are being a little too specific here. But moving on, this player shared a college position room that saw 4 of these players get drafted at the same position. This player was the second highest drafted at that position.
Michael Thomas.
No, it's not Michael Thomas.
DeAnthony Thomas.
No. The chat already has this, but you all are stuck on one particular thing, and I apologize because I think I made the first clue a little too bad, but that's okay.
I'm more of a 90s cartoon guy anyway.
If it's what I think it is, I'm going to be pissed off at you, Lucas. Got a guess, Tom?
Just say Steve.
No, I don't. I think I do,
Okay.
but I honestly don't.
The chat has this one again. It's Derrick Henry. Henry was one of the other blue trains on Thomas
Bro,
the Tank Engine.
I don't know the names of the trains other than Thomas.
That
and
show has imprinted on me, man. Jacob's out here pulling all these random things. And so that one has imprinted on me. I like Thomas the Tank Engine.
There's no way chat did not just type. Hold on. There's no. I'm calling bullshit. There's no way chat did not pull up the list of characters.
Yeah, that's 100% what happened.
Almost none of them were alive for. I don't care who it is. And you know what? If I had to guess, this was Hallen. And Hallen,
it's absolutely Hallen.
You're like 22 years old. And I'm calling bullshit. You're full of shit. You cheated. Period.
All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this next one is double because I'm in charge and that's fun for me. This next one.
By the way, you drove me nuts because I was trying to think of somebody who had a name similar to Sir Topham Hatt.
Oh, there we go. That would have been. Oh,
you just blew Lucas's mind with an opportunity he missed.
You know what? John has a point. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
there's
Percy.
No way.
I wanted to say Percy Harvin. That's the only other character.
Because Percy Harvin was like 3 weeks ago. I used this exact
same thing to get Percy Harvin. There's no way. Yeah, exactly.
No, during this time, I had the bad version of that. He was like a gangster, and he was Sir Popham Cap. And if you said anything bad to him, he'll pop a cap in your ass. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm going to go through the next clues just because I was really proud of this. Derrick Henry, he had to have Dexter McCluster get cut in order to get the number that he is known for. And then record holder for most career high school rushing yards and holds record for most rushing touchdowns and touchdowns in a season for Thomas's favorite team. That was going to be my last one.
I have a Derrick Henry connection right now, if you can believe that. Derrick Henry is from a town that is actually only about 25 minutes away from where I'm at. I've actually driven through it recently. It's called Yulee, Florida, in northern Florida. I had no idea, but I'm driving around. I'm like, oh, home of Derrick Henry. I'm like, oh, who do you know? What do you know? and ironically, the town where I do live now, birthplace of arguably the greatest football player of all time. And who would that be?
That I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, if you had to guess what
Birthplace?
The consensus of, the last.
I don't know where Tom Brady was born.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady or Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. Jim Brown.
I'm giving myself a point now. Dadgummit.
There you go.
Sorry. All right, moving on. Question number 4, recapping the points. We have 12, 1, 1, and 0. This question is going to be worth double because I make the rules and I'm having fun with that. Jacob and Thomas will never let me do this again, so I'm going to have fun with it.
Well, I host next year, so get
Very true. Very true. This player shares his name with a certain Scranton area paper company employee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
why am I not remembering?
I don't get first or last name or anything. It's just part of his name.
Mm-hmm.
God,
this
I
is
wish
what I get
didn't
for
hate.
bailing on The Office like 3 years before they stopped.
The Office is just I can't stand it, so I don't know.
If this is like a really niche Office character, I'm gonna be.
It's gonna be.
I'm gonna be.
It's gonna be. This is Toby Gerhart.
That is not Toby Gerhart. I wish
that's
it
a good
was.
guess.
That's a good guess.
That was also the first guess from the chat. The chat has some remarkable ones. Yes.
With Guru on the show, you didn't make it Vikings legend Toby Gerhart.
I should have, man. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't make this whenever I knew John would be on the show. I've had this one for over a month at this point. All right.
By the way, Toby Gerhart, one of the bigger busts in fantasy over the last 20 years. There was one year. I even think I got caught up into it a little bit where I ranked him at market, but because I was against it the whole way. And then
I don't know any other. Sorry, go ahead.
Again, it was just a bad deal. It was a bad scene that year with Toby Gerhart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna guess someone funny. I'm gonna say Michael Carter.
It is not. I like that though.
Y'all
have had some good ones. All right, moving along. This character is now working at a newspaper in Toledo.
Oh, I feel
Bro,
like
I
know
didn't
that.
stick around long enough in the office to see what happened to all the characters at the end. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm very proud getting to mention Thomas the Tank Engine and The Office in the same one.
I do not know which characters they wrote out of the show.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I'm going to move on to question number 3. This player became an NFL draft prospect at Oregon State, but transferred after the Pac-12 dissolved.
Oh, okay.
I got nothing.
Damn. The chat, I assume, has it by now. Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like I should
chat
have it
does.
from that. Yeah.
Screw you, chat. Making us look bad.
The chat has
Jesus.
been on
Freaking chat is
fire.
smart as hell.
I will
I'm
say
sorry,
this
what-
player
what-
transferred to Miami.
Oh, it's Cam Ward
No. Cam Ward was at Washington State.
from the Pac-12. Oh, you son of a.
Not a Pac-12
All right,
guy.
chat gets it. They can
It
have
is Mr. Damian Martinez.
Oh, he just got cut.
Oh, did he end up getting cut?
Yeah, he's
He
ass.
did get cut
Wow.
today.
Yeah, he's certifiably ass.
I don't believe.
What
I don't
office
believe
character
it.
shares a name with Damian Martinez?
Oscar Martinez.
Oh God,
Are you-
it was gonna be
Seriously?
someone obscure.
Are you serious?
Oscar there are
Lucas.
like freaking 10 characters in that whole entire show that ran for 9 years, and it was basically only those 10 characters, and none of them are obscure. Toby's the
That
most
is not a
obscure
character
one.
whose last name you
Toby's
should
a-
know. Come
Toby's a serial killer, right? Isn't that the
Basically.
bit? Yeah.
on.
he's a-
I'm not saying Oscar is obscure. I'm saying I wouldn't. He's not. There's like 3 or 4 characters in that show where their last name like matters and is said over and over. Like I don't know. I could not have told you Oscar's last name.
I
This
mean, the
is-
only guess I really had was Jim Thorpe. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
other than that, I was out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim help. Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know The Office. I really wish I'd pay attention when my wife turns it on, but I don't like. I guess sitcoms. It's not my jam. So
All
let's
right.
go.
Here's what I'll say, because the chat is up to, I don't even know what the chat's up to, but they've had this one handily.
Just
They've
make this
gotten
one
every
worth
single
30
one.
Quadruple points.
So
30 points.
if you all can get this on the first clue, I'll absolutely give it to you.
0 chance, but let's go.
All right. This player shares his first name with a teammate that he tipped a pass to in order to win a game as time expired. On
This
a
player-
team I am very fond of.
And he tipped the pass.
He's the one who tipped a pass.
So, but the teammate he tipped it to is the one he shares a name with. Is that what you said?
They both have the same first name.
Okay.
So the player I'm talking about is not the one who scored the touchdown.
Oh,
I'm talking about the one who was the intended target, tipped the pass up, and allowed for the other one to run under it and run for 86 yards for a touchdown as time expired.
Is it Michael Thomas?
It is not Michael Thomas.
Because that's the Mike Sims Walker one.
Mm.
oh yeah.
Ah,
It's not James Harrison.
I'm out. That was my best guess. That was the best one I could come up with.
Yeah,
The
I
chat's
have no clue.
crying. They haven't even given a guess and they're
chat,
crying.
We don't even chat. None
Like-
of us are getting this. You guys
Chat,
win.
you
It's
guys
fine.
Y'all
lost.
chill.
Relax. I
Is
don't
it-
know.
Is the chat like AI or is that actual real people?
Probably,
No,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's real people, but they cheat. They cheat sometimes. I know they do, but it's okay.
Mhm.
That's why when I hosted, nobody knew shit. I'm just saying, because y'all don't know 2000s fullbacks.
I do.
Yeah,
I know.
give up,
I know you
forfeit.
do.
Okay.
We're
So
good.
the chat got it, but I'm going to keep going because I found this really interesting. This player had his production replaced after a trade by another teammate with the same first name.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is why I
this
find
is-
this so crazy.
This is the Denver Broncos, right? This is the Brandon Marshall to Brandon Stokely.
Boom! Yes, it
That's
is.
what I was
The-
going to guess. I swear to God. What,
Yeah.
wait a second. Brandon
This is-
Stokely caught the touchdown, though.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Brandon Marshall was the one that tipped it.
Yes. So Brandon Marshall tipped it, was then replaced by Brandon Lloyd after a trade.
That pisses me off. I'm actually friends with Brandon Stokely.
Oh,
I have a story about that. I did an event in Vegas like 10 years ago, and it was like a cocktail hour. I sat at a cocktail thing and chopped it up with Kyle Orton and Brandon Stokely. Kyle Orton was the quarterback. Brandon Stokely caught the ball. The Bengals defender chasing after him was my coworker at the time, Dahani Jones. So I told you guys, I was like, guys, I work with Dahani. He's a ball breaker. He breaks my balls. I break his balls. I'm like, this, let me get a picture. And this is the greatest, little cocktail I've ever. I mean, I cannot believe it was Brandon Stokely. Oh my God.
Yeah. So was it
Brandon
Lloyd?
Marshall.
Oh,
It was Brandon Marshall.
Oh, I was right.
But yes, I was referring to Brandon Stokely on the first clue and then Brandon Lloyd on the second one. The chat got it. That is my very first NFL memory, is seeing that play and seeing the Broncos win.
Yeah.
Do you know who did the call?
No, I do not know who did the call.
Gus Johnson, baby.
Oh wow.
Stokely! He
Yeah.
swallowed his tongue on
It
the
was
play.
worth it. It was worth it. That's 5 for 5. Chat wins.
Holy cow.
I
yeah,
got
the
one
chat
more
was-
trivia for you guys.
All
Okay,
right.
let's have it.
What is Brandon Stokely's nickname?
Oh, I saw it during research for this. Oh.
Actually, the only thing I call him. I don't even call him anything but this.
No clue.
Slot machine.
The slot machine.
That's actually a good
It's
nickname. Damn.
really
It is.
good.
Yeah.
That is really good. That's
Bring back
That's-
good NFL nicknames. That's
Yeah,
like
I
way
know.
better than anything right
He's
now.
good,
know.
good dude. He's probably I mean, I'm guessing here, but I think he's like him and Peyton are like best friends. Like
can we what is the worst NFL nickname in your opinion, Guru? What do you got for the worst NFL nickname
Bill?
of all time?
Bill.
Bill's
is the
really
worst
bad.
NFL
Bill's,
nickname.
Bill's
Yeah.
really bad. Yeah.
Let's go,
But
Will. at least.
aside from that, let's get a. I know what my least favorite is, and people usually hate it, but the nickname, but I hate it.
Nickname.
It's the worst nickname you can think of.
Oh man. Well, give me yours. Maybe some will come to me.
The muscle hamster.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
That one's
it.
pretty
That's
terrible.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Football nickname of
Nailed it.
all. It was never cool. He hated it.
Yeah.
It's kind of descriptive. That one at least is kind of descriptive though. Like that is
The
kind of how
muscle
Doug
hamster?
Martin looked and played. Yeah.
That ass. The dude was yoked and unreal, and you call him a muscle hamster? Unbelievably terrible. They need to just take after pro wrestlers. But what do you got, John? Does that stoke some memories?
I mean, you stole it. I mean,
Okay.
How about Russ Wilson? Danger Russ.
Dangerous. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess he did win a Super Bowl. He was dangerous. Okay, that's
Yeah, but when he
fine.
became dangerous, it became ass. So
It
we're
did, yeah.
going to agree with that one. Bad. Do either of you guys got one?
I don't. Gosh, I remember thinking the muscle hamster was so funny because I was, in high school and it was dumb. So I enjoyed that. But looking back on it, I can't believe I was calling a grown man the muscle hamster. That's
Well,
a little sad.
I got one that's ironically just horrific, and it just looks so bad. How about Sanchez?
Sanchez really bad. The Sanchez really bad. I want to end this on a positive note with my favorite nickname of all time. He passed away, but he was one of my favorite personalities in sports. He played in the Arena League. He won himself a Super Bowl. But let's give a shout out to the surprisingly athletic and rushing capable Hefty Lefty, Jared Lorenzen.
Yeah.
That dude could actually run for a man that looked like an offensive lineman. Passed too soon, but let's shout him out. I also just want to point out, Big Diaz says Aragon of Minas Tirith once again. I took it off the wall, but I'm ready if somebody needs some sort of enforcer on the battlefield. I've got my my sword, so I'm ready to go. That being said, Guru, happy you could join us here on this Dynasty Points. We're a little bit different. We're a little bit chaotic, but that's what we're here for.
Well, I'm different and I'm chaotic, and it was very easy to predict that I would completely shit the bed in the trivia contest. Because when I'm put on the spot, forget about it. Just forget it.
We take pride in the fact that 5 for 5 is one of the more challenging and unforgiving trivia games played in the fantasy football space. It is unique. It is difficult, and it only brings out the best in us. That being it, that might be it for 5 for 5. And I just got to say, I want to remind everybody, I won 5 for 5. I didn't need any of these games over the last 5 weeks. So keep that in mind when you're talking about the GOAT, because the chat's not here to gloat, so I have to. You know what I mean?
Yep. I still have Taylor Swift 5 for 5 whenever you all are ready. It's in here. We're good to go, man. We might
do next week when Jacob is back, because he's also a Taylor Swift guy. With that being said, Guru, you have a lot of stuff happening at all times. Obviously, you have TV shows going on. You have multiple podcasts per week at fantasypoints.com. You've got Hump Day. You're locked in on Final Points. You are all over the place. Do you have one last piece of content that you think everybody needs to be checking out from the Guru before the 2025 season kicks off?
I'm still kind of letting everything settle. It does take a couple of days because, when the final cuts come down, then, guys get re-signed. Like, we're not going to get a real feel for the depth charts till, like, I don't know, Thursday, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
That's right.
But no, I there are a number of situations this year that no one knows the answer to, and it's literally impossible to predict. So I haven't really tried to, like, I haven't really taken a side on, like, the Jaguar guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've got Bigsby and ETN slightly over their ADPs just because I think one of them is going to be their guy and the other is going to probably be moved, probably to the Cowboys. So, I think it's going to be a very active waiver wire. So for whatever that means, be prepared to be active on the waiver wire early. I just have this feeling that there's more unsettled situations that we literally have no idea about, a little bit more than ever. So, other than that, all the content, all the articles, all the stuff is definitely going to prepare you for your draft. And I am already looking forward to week 1 to get into I like the immediate gratification, right, Ryan, about getting something right. It hurts when you're wrong, but the immediate gratification, you get a bunch of shit right. Boy, coffee tastes a little bit better. You're in a good mood. So I'm looking forward to that.
There's nothing in fantasy football like the week 1 victory lap. I cannot wait. With that being said, you can catch Guru tomorrow morning. Guru and I tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern time on Hump Day. You can catch everything Ryan is doing over on the website. Lucas Gilbert bringing the prize picks stuff over to fantasypoints.com. He'll be in the Discord, obviously doing some DFS optimizing like you were last year. Can't wait for that. There's a ton of content all over the place, but none like what we have at fantasypoints.com. With that being said, that's it for the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're finishing normally when we are starting Dynasty Points. Early night for us here on Dynasty Points. Remember to like and subscribe, like we said all at the beginning, on our quest to 20K. Remember to check in on your loved ones, even if you're not sure that they need it. Remember that there are people on the other side of the screens when you're talking all that shit. And remember that clear eyes and full heart can never lose, that your best days is always spent tilting about whether or not Travis Kelce's taking Taylor Swift's last name. Good night, everybody.
What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.